This week's Who Would Win of the Week is Walt Disney versus Lex Luthor. They're not that different.
No.
They're not that different.
One and the same.
Do you want to start, Matthew?
No, I'm going to try to stay on the back burner here.
Okay. I think Walt Disney wins it 100%. Lex Luthor is he's a super villain, right? Like categorically that's what he is. But he is like he's acting evil purposefully. You know what I mean? Like he's like, "Oh, I'm doing something bad.
core.
I'm doing something bad to like fuck with Superman, whatever."
Right.
Whereas Walt Disney is way more calculated with his stuff, and it is literally
isn't
like
a physical
killing with
fight.
kindness.
This is
No,
just
this
like
is
It's physical, but
Okay.
like
Yeah.
how, but I think the personality is going to play a big.
I'll let
role in
Emily
it.
talk because I got a few things to say. So.
All right.
Go ahead.
no, I'm gonna agree with you on that one because even if it is a physical fight, like you can be like smart and calculated about what you're going to do, or you could just be like, I'm going to fight because I'm doing this to be evil. So, yeah, that's all I have to
Like
say
Lex
about it.
Luthor's a bad guy, but
Right.
Walt Disney,
Is
if you
bad,
fight him,
like-
he's literally a American psycho
Yeah.
sociopath, like
Yeah.
full on
Hates Jews.
hates,
yeah.
full on hates
Yep.
Jews. Yeah,
And calculated evil is like really scary.
yeah.
like
And-
like the show You right now, like it's all about that.
Right,
It's
I've never
scary.
watched it, but I've heard.
I've
that.
watched
Like,
a few episodes. People getting locked in basements and shit, and then everybody started
the
murdering.
huge.
Not a spoiler, but then everybody started like murdering each other.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there was two murderers, I believe, dating.
Did you see this last?
I don't
season?
watch
That's
the
why.
show.
It's good to have
No,
common
this is just what I.
interests.
This is just what I hear.
The last one was he just like kind of went insane because he was so calculated and he's like the smartest person he knows. He always gets away with anything, and that's what makes it so scary.
Oh wow, a
like-
girl that likes a sociopath show. Big deal.
Yeah, dude, that's,
Another girl who likes true crime.
that is wild. dude.
Crazy.
But I think that with Walt Disney's having that psychotic side of him, I think that there's a person with that personality also kind of fears nothing because
Right.
he always kind
And
of
if you can
feels in
hate like
control.
a certain
God.
type of person, like if he hates
I got
Jews.
so many arguments for this.
Let's roll.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So, two things. Is this, Lex Luthor? I'm a real big nerd, so like, is this?
Oh, you're talking to the
Is
I've
Lex
literally
Luthor
bought
in like
Superman
what a
comic
power
today.
mech suit?
No, it's
he's
no,
normal Lex
Yeah.
Luthor. All right. Is there anybody crazier that is just a human that thinks they can fight Superman and defeat Superman? Because that's maybe the most insane person in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Good call.
Well, we don't know because like
But he's
the
also
Joker's in a different universe. So like if he was, like would he?
Joker's in the
They're
same
in the
Or
same
same
universe,
universe, but not
but-
same story. But like would he? Like would he do it? Because he's kind of insane.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
But he
focused
also
on
chose to
different- he's
fight
focused on
like
different
another,
stuff.
like Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
he
Batman's
died.
not
Fight-
Superman. Like
Yeah.
Superman's
yeah, I know.
like,
So you're proving my.
yeah, I know I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that Lex Luthor is also like physically just like he's not a scrawny wimp.
No, he's jacked. He's jacked
so
for
he's
sure.
yeah. So if you put him in a ring to fight, it's 100% Lex Luthor is going to beat his ass.
But honestly, I think his obsession with defeating Superman, I mean, the guy, it's kind of it's like a pinhole kind of view. Like, he's so focused on that. And Walt
Yeah.
Disney is a big picture kind of dude.
Well, but I also think like Lex Luthor's like vision is yes, I want to destroy Superman because like my goal is to rule the world, and he becomes president, and like that's what he wants to do. Superman's a thorn in his side, that he wants to destroy with all his passion, but he also has other things on his mind too,
But they all take second place to Superman, though. Like, there's nothing that he won't do
Yeah.
to take Superman down, and it's caused him trouble before. And again, Walt Disney, big picture guy, and the fact that a
Walt
dude,
Disney knows that about Lex Luthor.
I'm sure
Then he can use
I bet
that
you
to
he
his
does
advantage,
because I'm sure Walt Disney, who turned himself into such a successful businessman, would be able
Is
to
a smart
recognize
guy.
that kind of thing. He could probably read people very well, especially owning an entertainment company the size of Disney, even when the size that it was when he was alive, because obviously it was still massive. Like, he knows who people are, he knows what people want.
You know that
So-
I don't know where I heard this, maybe it was Joe Rogan podcast or something, but all the images of Walt Disney, he used to smoke all the time, and
Yeah.
they've digitally taken
They
out
take
every
it out,
cigarette
yeah.
from
I saw
every
that
photo
too.
you have of him online.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's an
See-
actual thing. I saw that too.
That's literally what you're
I
talking about people scrubbing
love-
shit.
Yeah, people scrub shit.
That's
Like-
wild.
People scrub shit.
I don't know if this is the correct term, but I'm going to call it Disney World lore. Like, it is the
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, it's
best.
crazy.
Like, I'm so happy that I can now weigh in on this argument because you guys are missing, and Andrew knows what I'm going to say. It was kind of referenced already, but the biggest factor in this fight is that Walt Disney was a Nazi.
Oh
It always comes back to Nazis.
Like,
who would win?
if there's a
Always
group
comes
of
back to
people that
Nazis.
I would have chosen not to fuck with,
Wasn't there like
Yeah,
a
but they all
whole-
lost.
Wasn't there like a whole place,
but
like,
ultimately, like that's the
wasn't
like the,
the-
that's the ultimate script for a supervillain too. Like,
wasn't there a
that's-
whole place
So
like
two
underneath
supervillains.
like Disney World that like
There's
he
a-
created and for that I don't know like a secret place for him or something.
There's like a lot of rumors about stuff like that. There is underground tunnels in Disney World. Yes.
Yeah,
But they're for
I
like
don't remember like
cast members.
yeah,
to
but I
go
feel
around.
like it was like
yeah, but they
a bad
say
reason.
well they used
I
to
don't remember
always
why.
say that like he had like hidden part. Obviously, we know that somewhere in the castle his body is hidden frozen in ice.
for sure.
So eventually he will come back.
He will come back.
Yeah.
Like the Night King, like in Game of Thrones, ride a dragon around Disney World.
I was thinking like
Right.
Captain
See
America
that.
style, frozen in ice for 70 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To save the world? Okay.
No, well, no, to bring back the Third Reich. I don't know, whatever he wants to do. Yeah.
He wouldn't go by Walt Disney anymore, though. I feel like he would create a whole new persona for himself.
do-
Although he might be obsessed with himself. So
Yeah. But I think ultimately,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about actual Walt Disney outside of the conspiracy theories that I choose to believe in. But if I'm going based on that Walt Disney, I would say he probably was a bit of like very similar to Lex Luthor, like you were saying. I also didn't know a lot about Lex Luthor other than the fact that he is bald, and
And
he's a
hates
bad
Superman.
guy.
He's a
Yeah,
genius.
I knew that. I knew. Yeah, I mean, I knew
He's
the
a
basics,
business
but
Yeah, same.
thanks to you guys and your
Nerdiness.
infinite knowledge on superheroes
Bring
and
the heat.
whatnot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Lex Luthor in this fight. Although I know I didn't think I was either because again I did say the whole thing about being a Nazi and stuff. But
Well,
listen,
can
it only
Walt
got
Disney
so
like
far for
hire
Hitler.
someone to fight for him?
Lex
and-
Luthor
I
could
don't
do
think
the
in
same
this case.
thing.
That's
Like,
true.
Yeah, but you
they're
guys
more
said that he's
rich.
Jack, so like he doesn't need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
And
but
this
there's
is
always
Walt
somebody
Disney
that's more
is-
Sure,
rich.
Walt Disney had that like, at the very least, Walt Disney though had that like 50s.
I
like,
think this is more of like
Yeah,
a,
true. Like
strong-
jacked in the
exactly.
I think this
50s.
is more of a like this
I
is
had
how
steak and potatoes
this is
for
how
breakfast.
I imagine this
Yeah.
fight.
I was literally thinking
Yeah.
Popeye.
I imagine what happens is Walt Disney is owning Disney World, thriving. People are loving it. Lex Luthor comes and opens up Universal Studios, pretty much,
Right.
and like starts competing with Walt Disney. And then one day they're at a fundraiser for like the governor of Florida, and they bump into each other, and they have to like shake hands as if they're cordial, but they really hate each
It's
other.
one of those things where they just each are squeezing as hard as
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah, and then at one point in time, like they decide to just Royal Rumble the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And just the two of them just fight to the death, and Walt Disney's in full uniform, head to toe.
What do
Maybe
you
they'll
mean?
be like
Nazi
Peter Griffin.
uniform.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be like Peter Griffin
And
and
the
Chicken,
chicken,
and
yeah.
they'll just keep going forever and ever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock in my answer, but I want to say one more thing. With Lex Luthor, again, his arch nemesis being Superman, the most powerful being conceivable, that guy, and it's also happened like constantly in the comic books. He's been like, oh, this is just a regular guy. He's no match for me. I go up against Superman.
Right.
But he still fails against those guys sometimes, and I think that's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Question for you: Is this just my imagination, or does he always wear white?
That's your imagination.
Who, Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
He's got a lot of different suits.
Yeah,
He's a suit guy.
Well, he's a CEO. He owns LexCorp.
Well, I know that, but
I think you're thinking of Kingpin. from
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Could
who's
be.
also
Oh, yeah, yeah.
also bald.
Okay.
Yeah,
But always
No, that
wears,
very well could be. Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah, I see if Lex Luthor did wear all white, I would have taken Walt Disney, but I am going to stick with Lex Luthor in this fight.
I'm going Walt, man. I'm locking in Walt.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in Walt too. But I
Let's
also
go.
just finished the season of You, so the whole like scary psychopath is just like still in my head.
Yeah.
So
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. It's a tie. It's always fun when it's a tie because then I get to watch my side win on Instagram.
That
Yeah.
Comment below.
never
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never happens.
You can vote on that on Friday on Instagram. Make sure you pick the winning team, or else.
or you could just throw it back and Doug Dimmadome, he just comes back and he just
Doug
wins.
Dale Dimmadome.
That guy wears all white. You didn't
Yeah,
vote for
he
him?
wears all white.
Yeah, I didn't vote for him because he's a bitch.